I've got this hat on, look. January is time for resolutions, isn't it? Veganuary, dry January.
That, of course, is the wonderful, hilarious, but very intelligent Russel Brand. But he's wrong. He's absolutely wrong. Because dry January is not the way to go. If you want to actually become healthy and drain yourself of alcohol and just see what it's like after that, generally, it ain't the way to go. So let's jump outside. So dry January, first of all, started back in 2012, and it was a charity body that was looking at it and saying, hey, we need to do something around this alcohol problem. You know, people are drinking a lot over Christmas, and there's this need for people to slow down and to do something in January, do something for themselves, because generally people aren't socializing. This was the way of the old normal before COVID-19 came along in 2020. And so with that, this charity kind of got tagging and got online and started promoting all that was good about promoting things that could help people's health. But in this article you can see here where, well, it's not good for most people that are ordinary drinkers. In fact, there's a lack of evidence for such campaigns like this that they actually work with regard to alcohol. And there's consequential outcomes, and with every action, of course, is a consequence. Because it just doesn't work. Now, so let's just read out this expert, Ian Hamilton, to see what he said about dry January, so we can begin to figure out exactly the expertise behind his answer. So, quote unquote, 2 questions should be asked of any public health message about alcohol, he said. One is that it is evidence-based, and who is the audience? Now in its 4th year, the Dry January campaign, which uses peer pressure to encourage absenteeism from alcohol for the month, is promoted by the charity Alcohol Concern in England and Wales. It is supported by Public Health England, and it has been so effective that the government has approved it. The campaign estimates that last year, the previous year to this article, that there was 2 million people that had cut down their drinking for January. Now here's the thing, quote unquote, but popular doesn't necessarily mean effective. That's really, really important. Popular doesn't necessarily mean effective. And the last sentence prior to that, of course, he said, was that last year over 2 million people cut down for their drinking and down their drinking, and probably even stopped their drinking for January. But guess what? You've got 11 other months of a year. You've got February to December. And here's the thing, if you know you're getting drunk in December and you're having drinks in December and you're getting drunk and you know you're not supposed to or not going to, or your friends, we mentioned peer, the word peer there, are actually pressurizing you like a teenager into not drinking in January, well then you're more than likely not going to commit to it fully in your mind's eye with regard to it stopping you drinking in February to December. So it's a habit, yes, to be able to do, and a commitment for sure, to be able to do dry January, but it's not going to, in general, according to the data that they've had in the first few years of this dry January, it's not going to help human beings, the average drinker who gets drunk and has fun over Christmas time with their friends, and who you're usually with your friends and your family over Christmas, to commit to it. It's fantastic to do it together. It's something to do together in January. It's social. You're keeping your quiet little bond, and you don't have to spend an awful lot of money going other places, meeting other people. But it's not going to help you in the long run with your drinking. It talks about how it's better to have 2 alcohol-free days each week. He said, quote unquote, it would be better to have 2 alcohol-free days each week all year rather than 1 month of abstinence. And that is true, because essentially if you're not drinking in January and then you start drinking in February after Christmas, when you knew initially, like we just said, that there was going to be this, dry absenteeism coming in January for 31 days, well then at the end of January, come February, you're going to party like you've never partied before. You're going to get your next paycheck and you're going to be back with your friends. Plus, it's not just your personal celebration, it's a celebration with others. And so February starts with a bang and you're going to start drinking. So here's the thing they say in this particular article. It says that most research, quote unquote, on crash diets indicate that diets that focus on a period of restriction instead of long-term changes result in a speedy return to prior habits. plus potential binging and a loss of any short-term health benefits. Now this is a crash diet. Dry January is essentially a crash diet. A lot of people think that diet is to do with eating food and gobbling it down like the Cookie Monster, but the reality is it's not only about food. It's because what is ingested and taken into our body is also alcohol, and of course it all ends up in the same place. It's all either nutrients or toxins for our body, whether it's food or alcohol and so on. And so therefore it's not actually going to be, it's going to be received, it is going to be received by your body in the same way and processed in different ways, as said, nutrients or toxins. So therefore it's a crash diet. It's a diet itself. It's something that happens very quickly, crash bang, and it's not working. It doesn't work. So the potential of actually it happening, according to John Orr, is, quote unquote, half of the point of Dry January is to live your life as you normally do, just without drinking. Now he's credited with the idea in 2006, and now as the senior vice president of product at Business Insider. Business, there's the word business. So he is actually invested, that man, that John Orr is invested in a business. He's not looking from a health point of view. Here's the thing. There's an investment in businesses in certain things, such as Dry January, for reasons that are not necessarily ethical. They want to actually benefit people. Yes, they do, for January. But they know also, by then mentioning it in January and in the run-up to January, people are saying, oh, aren't they a fantastic business? Isn't that alcohol business very good for mentioning it? They will be given airtime for doing this. You often see on alcohol advertisements, please drink responsibly, for example. Please make sure to not drink and drive. And these are all very, very important messages. But when they're being pumped out there and pushed out there, those alcohol types of organizations and businesses are well able to fund it, because if they tell you to do that, it's them primarily that's telling you. So it's not necessarily the message, it's the fact that you're listening to those alcohol producers, and that's essentially their branding. That's essentially how they're getting into your head. So if you say, hey, I'm going to do Dry January, that's a wonderful thing. You say to your friends, you suggest to your friends, this could be a fun thing to do. And for sure, it is a fun thing to do. But it's coming from a third party business that is telling you to do something. So if you're to do thing once for a third party business, i.e. drink in the first place, which you've already done, otherwise there'd be no need for Dry January, you're doing it twice for what? The business has already given you drunkenness and given you probably drinks at Christmas, and you drank it all. So it's not been proven. It doesn't work. Anything that isn't scientifically proven doesn't generally work. However, it does work for the likes of Russel brand if you are an addict. But if you're not an addict, there's no need to do Dry January. In fact, there's no reason for it whatsoever. However, if you are an addict, try it for sure. It can only help you and help you become a stronger person. But most people aren't addicts. And Russel brand might have the brand of humour, but unfortunately on this one, it's unproven. So, hope you liked the video, and if you can, please subscribe. Until next time, please do have a dry but happy